Plunder Chimera again. This is not a rerun. This is just back in the tournament again, but it's against Rescue Ace. Is Rescue Ace or was Rescue Ace overhyped? Is the deck even that good? This was unprecedented to have Rescue Ace come out at full power alongside full power Snake Eyes, which did not happen in the TCG nor OCG, but it looks like Snake Eyes is better at the moment, but we'll find out. Are you ready? Is everything good? Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Start this off with Kodal. Kodal's going to discard a searcher deck for a Chimera Fusion monster, grabbing the Big Wing Baphomet. Now, the Baphomet is a level 5, so we're going to have to use it for a Fusion summon, ideally. We're going to chain Max C to the Chimera Fusion as the Gazelle has added it from the deck to the hand. Now, what can we do here? We're going to be sending the Blue Beard Shokan into Chimera King of Phantom Beast, which will be activating to discard a card during the end of the turn. Random discard. Bluebeard with the random, not random discard, but random draw as we discard the Baphomet to get drawn into another Gazelle as we now search for a Mirror Knight. We have used up our normal summon already, so we're going to add back the Chimera Fusion in the graveyard back to our hand, set it, randomly discard. Did we not discard? What's going on? We did not activate the Chimera on summon. Did I miss something? Why did we not activate to discard a card during the opponent's end phase? Maybe we didn't want to discard a card. Maybe, I'm not so sure about that, but with the Chimera Fusion set, we do have, yeah, they didn't use it. I think they misclicked, maybe. They do have the ability to summon a Guardian Chimera to then wipe out their field during the next turn. But Ash Blossom can negate it, but you could chain link block the Ash Blossom if you put this on the lower chain link. So we're gonna look out for that even though there's no Ash Blossom. We still wanna play correctly. We got Wanted Seeker of the Sinful Spoils, grabbing our Black Witch, activate that Maxi before her inherent special summon. Royal Diablo Star, by the way, damn. Subversion's gonna push the Chimera into the back row, but the Kodal is going to negate. While we control a Chimera Fusion, we can banish the Kodal to negate anything that would target. Now, with the Mirror Sword Knight in the hand, we want it in the graveyard so that we could banish it if you activate a monster effect in the field. We're gonna return the Subversion, draw into a random card here. We got Hydrant. Hydrant activating to search for our Air Lifter, which we're gonna have that additional normal summon with the field spell, summoning it onto the field, searching our deck for a Rescue Ace card. We have Alert. So this should alert the opponent into thinking that potentially they may already have Emergency, but maybe even if not, because Alert is still a good card to search even if you don't have the Emergency. Alert while we have the Hydrant searching for our Turbulence. Get ready. We have Nightmare Phoenix on summon, discard a card, pop that back row Chimera Fusion. Now, what are we going into here? We're gonna chain Maxi to that Chimera Fusion. I'm very interested into what we're gonna be seeing here. It's not gonna be a Chimera, will it? The Guardian Chimera? No, it's not. Not Guardian Chimera. We have Baphomet, the Mythical King of Phantom Beast, which will be able to negate a monster effect on the field. So if we were to summon the Turbulence will now get negated if we do not deal with the Mirror Sword Knight. We are also going to activate the Chimera on Fusion Summon to send a card from the deck to the grave, which will be sending a Whitebeard. Whitebeard being sent to the graveyard is going to trigger 2 special summon from the deck, but we did not do that. Now, the Whitebeard, does it activate if sent from the deck to the grave or only when from the hand or field to the grave? If this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, so from the deck to the grave, it does not trigger to summon from the deck. Now, this is where the Turbulence is going to very simply get negated by that Sword Knight, but we have to finger it preemptively. If we finger it too late, it's no good, and beyond that, there is also an Effect Veiler, but we have Emergency. So what's going to be difficult here on what to do is if we wait for the activation of Turbulence, we chain Effect Veiler, they could chain Emergency to dodge it. If we Effect Veiler preemptively, they could Emergency early, but then, you know, we potentially have the Sword Knight to negate the new Turbulence, but they have a finger. So it's going to be really dependent on how they play this out correctly. We got the finger, we got Emergency, we have both ways to stop the negates. Let's do it. Oh boy, we did not finger the Sword Knight. Now, Emergency is not going to dodge the Sword Knight. The finger can't be used on the Sword Knight because the Sword Knight is banishing by cost. It's gone. Nothing to finger. And a newly summoned Turbulence, it's hard once per turn already activated. So we're screwed. Damn. And we had the Ash Blossom for the Emergency. So we didn't have to waste the Veiler, which we do have a finger for the Veiler. Oh boy, under Max C. We are continually special summoning here. What are we doing? Rescue Ace field spell is going to return 4 cards back in the deck, draw 1. Getting our Preventer here. Now, Preventer can banish a Rescue Ace in the graveyard to come forth and summon, but we're under Max C. So ideally, we would send the Turbulence to the grave, then banish it, because if the Preventer is then sent to the grave, it would reborn the Turbulence. Max C for both players, by the way. Now, the Baphomet on summon is going to be adding a Chimera Fusion and the Gazelle. A fat hand here. Max C preemptively in the draw phase. Ash Blossom. Negate. Do we finger the Ash Blossom? Yes, we do. Negate. No way to stop that finger. Now, we have to think. Do we have lethal damage? Is it worth pursuing this field? Do we go all in under Max C? We're already winning in card advantage. We have 7 to 1 card in the hand. The Turbulence we got to get rid of, though. 3,500 attack. That could be quite difficult under Max C. We are Chimera Fusioning. This is it. This is going to be pop 2, draw 1, Guardian Chimera. Let's do it. Now, if we don't have a Chain Link block and they drew into an Ash, they would be able to negate the Guardian Chimera, so we're making sure to Chain Link block with a Gazelle. Very nice. Adding a Codal. Codal will discard, add a Sword Knight. Getting rid of the Turbulence and the original Sinful, which will have a follow-up play next turn to search for a Hydrant. To battle we go, taking out that Phoenix, and we're just going to keep it nice and simple. We already used up our normal summon here. We're going to add a Whitebeard to our hand. Okay. So if the Whitebeard is sent to the graveyard through the effect of the Chimera Fusion, it will trigger to summon a Beard from the deck, which will then be able to possibly, we do have a Dark Monster on the field, so we're going to be setting up through that fusion the ability to summon a Moark. Moark's going to be able to banish an effect monster, or we could summon a Liss. Liss will be able to negate a monster effect. So we have double disruption through the fusion and through the Whitebeard there. Now, we're going to be using the effect of the Baphomet to banish itself to summon a banished monster back in the field, which will now turn on our Chimeras in the grave. We have Codal. We get a card on our field targeted by the opponent. We're going to be able to negate it. We don't have a Sword Knight in the graveyard, though, for monster effect negate. Chimera Fusion in response to the Preventer banishing the summon. What's going on? We're getting the Whitebeard into the graveyard. Magnum Reliever. In response to an activation of a card, we could pop a card on the field. So when do we do that? Do we chain? Yes, we do. We're chaining to our Whitebeard to take out the Rescue Ace field spell. Now the Whitebeard's going to be summoning from the deck a Redbeard. Yes, Redbeard is going to be summoning exactly what I said. Going into that Moark, banishing the Preventer. Now the Preventer has the quick effect to flip a monster in the field face down, but you need another Rescue Ace in order to do so. We're clapping them up. Black Guys being sent to the grave, reborning a back row monster back onto the field, swinging into the Magnum Reliever to add back our one of Diablo Star back to our hand. So if that was confusing to you, a lot of Rescue Ace players only playing one Diablo Star. Randomly drawn to the Ash Blossom, send to the graveyard to summon our Diablo Star, getting effect Veilered. Double Veiler, which we were able to save onto the first one because the Turbulence was not activated optimally around our finger that we could have used onto the Mirror Knight. It just like that. Very well done. Chimera Plunder back in the Meta Weekly again, doing well. Let's watch game 2 and 3. Ash Blossom. So what do we ash? Do we ash the Emergency? Do we ash the Hydrant? Well, pretty much if they have both, you're not gonna be able to stop them no matter what you ash. When is the big tournament? The big tournament's going to be in May 11th. It's going to be the big tournament because of what I'm leaking today. The big nuclear leak today is going to be why we're running the May $1,000 tournament. We're setting up with our Rescue Ace Turbulence. If you ever resolve this card, you pretty much auto-win the duel. We're going to have the ability to negate a monster, pop a monster. Let's go. And we have some good follow-up. With Emergency, we could generally likely get a Preventer on the field to also flip a monster on the field face down. So we have about triple disruption through the 4 back row set. Rescuing our Hydrant from the graveyard. Max C in response to that. We're going to chain Emergency. Instead of using Ash, we're holding the Ash. Hold the Ash. Good discipline with it. Summon the Preventer, send Turbulence. Reborn our Hydrant, so now the Contain and the Extinguish will now have additional effects. Do we negate the search for a Chimera Fusion grab from the deck? We definitely do not. We're going to discard a card to search our deck for a Plunder as the Ash Blossom negates. Cross out Designate. Negate. The negate. Now, we still have our Extinguish, Contain, and Preventer. We could flip face down, we could pop a monster, we could negate a monster. Let's see what we do. Grabbing Whitebeard from our deck, Chimera Fusion, extinguishing the Gazelle. And just like that, you have nothing to fusion summon with, and you do have to fuse if you have a legal fusion. So back in my day, you'd have to show your hand to show that you don't have a legal fusion, but apparently, I think in today's TCG, you just have to trust the opponent that they can't fuse. So don't look at their hand. All right, let's go. Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. Grabbing our Diablo Star, the opponent has no disruption whatsoever. We should very easily win this duel. Let's do it. Hydrant searching for our Turbulence. Let's put that 8,000 damage on the field. Banish the Grave, come forth and summon. We have over 8,300 damage at the moment. Let's finish up this turn, taking this into a game 3. Cannot let the Turbulence resolve, but it's okay because now Chimera Plunder's going first, which will be much more likely to stop that Turbulence. Sword Knight sends to the graveyard. This is an Ash. You Ash this. This is definitely an Ash. A Maxi instead. I disagree with that. I disagree. We will be called by the grave, fingering that Maxi. Let's go. Now, from the deck will be also a pretty good Ash target. For the Ash, it's going to be stopping the ability to search 2 cards. We'll be searching for a Fusion and the Gazelle. Baphomet activate. Ash negate. Very nice, very nice. Let's go, let's go. Was it better that the Maxi was fingered over the Ash? We're going to set the Chimera Fusion, then pass back to you. We do have Book of Eclipse, which is quite interesting. Non-target, flip the field face down. Emergency is to summon a monster and then send a Rescue Ace to the graveyard. So if you only have one Rescue Ace, that newly summoned monster goes right to the graveyard, and we have nothing good to summon. So that is unfortunate for Rescue Ace, completely bricking. The Extinguish is not activatable unless we control a Rescue Ace. We're going to Chimera Fuse right into our Guardian Chimera. We're going to pop 1, draw 2. Very nicely done. Baphomet is going to be reborning the Sword Knight from the graveyard, which could then, again, send itself to the graveyard to summon from the deck. Get that draw 2. We got Black Eyes in our hand with a Plunder in the grave. Sword Knight from the deck. Come forth, we're on summon number 2, grabbing another Chimera Fusion. To battle we go. We're not going to get too crazy here. Very well done. We got the tail in the graveyard with the golden hair, that is, which is going to be discarding to then reborn. We're then going into a 4th summon here. 5th summon that Nibiru's coming. George's going to return the Black Eyes in the graveyard back to our hand, put ourselves into the back row, summon a token, and we are now on 5 summons. What do? Oh, we're further committing. Oh, no, no, no. We're adding the golden hair in the graveyard back to the hand, especially summon the Black Eyes to go right into that Nibiru, but we have a Crossout Designate to negate the Nibiru. Crossout is pretty much the only way to stop a Nibiru. TCG having 3 copies of Crossout Designate if you really don't want to get Nibiru'd. Got Blackbeard. Blackbeard's going to be able to draw a card and summon a monster negate. We got that negate. We're going to resummon the Blackbeard again. We'll draw a card during the opponent's turn. We got the Plunder Patrol Shipyard. Discard the golden hair, grabbing a Whitebeard, which when discarded will summon a Redbeard from the deck, which will then go into even more disruption. Let's go, let's go. Maxi. Original Sinful Spoil on the Maxi. We're going to chain Blackbeard to summon from our extra deck to then draw a card also. We're going to summon a Jord. Jord will trigger off of your special summon a monster from the deck and add a monster from our deck to our hand. So we're going to add a Bluebeard, summoning the Whitebeard. We're now going to be summoning a Bran. Bran has the quick effect to banish a back row card. So we have back row banish, we have monster negate. Do we negate the Hydrant? We do not. We're holding on to our negate. Hold the negate. Link this off into Link Karibo. So we get banished for our Preventer. Dark is here with a Dark monster in the opposing graveyard. We're going to reborn it onto our side of the field, chaining that Maxi. Nothing to it. We're not chaining Emergency to Maxi. And now we have to decide, are we committing under this Maxi? We are. Banishing the Hydrant to summon our Preventer. We're going to further link this up into a Celine Navida. Celine has nothing to special summon because it can only summon a spellcaster in defense, thus it can't summon a Link. You need a Diablo Star. You need an Effect Veiler. We're going to fusion summon into the Magnum Reliever. In response to our Whitebeard activating, or Bluebeard that is, we're going to chain the Magnum to banish our fusion card from the grave to take out the Celine before it could go into an access code talker. Very nice. Whitebeard triggering, summoning from the deck. Nibiruing on your own turn. We know that card is there because we cross-out designated it. That's why we held onto the list, as we would summon 5 or more times on the opponent's turn to then negate the Nibiru. And, I mean, the list is public knowledge. Having a card to discard is pretty much public knowledge. We knew that this would get negated. Negate and destroy. We're now going to follow up emergency. Ash Blossom negate, and just like that, mate, Plunder Chimera is defeating Rescue Ace. Rescue Ace, Wisteria, I am so sorry, my friend. Emergency is going to set a trap from the graveyard to be used during the next turn, not usable the turn it's set. We're killing our Preventer, and we're scooping. We're scooping. We're out of here. We're done. Thank you very much. Plunder Chimera is the way. I had a lot of fun playing this deck over the week. Yes, let's go. More Chimera against Purrely. Happy to see this. Sword Knight, summon from the deck, come forth. We have Gazelle. We normally summon Baphomet here, so that was sus. It's so sus that I'm thinking we're not playing Baphomet. We're playing a small Chimera package with an Unchained. That's what's the deal's got to be. There's no way we would not summon a Baphomet, right? Purrely, regular Purrely, semi-limited by the way. Look at the top 3 cards of the deck. Add among the top our Purrely Happy Memory. With the My Friend Purrely, we're going to reveal 3 cards, randomly add 1 to our hand. Now, Sleepy Memory, chain the Maxi. So you have 2 options here. You can just not discard and summon so they don't special. We could chain special summon to the Maxi so that they don't draw for that special summon, then we don't discard for this special summon. Or we could just finger the Maxi, which is the secret 3rd option. Negate. Now, Escape of the Unchained is target an Unchained monster and 1 card in the field to destroy. We have no Unchained monster. But we could hope that this randomly gets destroyed. How would Purrely destroy it? They wouldn't. So it's just dead. And Chimera Fusion is good for fusing with the card in your hand plus on the field, which we don't have. So we have dead card, doesn't activate when sent to the grave, nothing in the hand, no hand traps in the grave. Let's speed this up. E, Purrely, Nord. We're not taking battle damage there. We're setting up for potentially a Zeus play. Going into the E, Purrely Happiness. Setting up with the Purrely Leap. We also now have our Zeus. We're now going to be using the Purrely Street to equip onto it a Sleepy. So what we could do here is we could draw 4. Draw 1, activate the Purrely Leap, draw 1. Let's go. And then the Triple Tactics Thrust could add the Heralds. The Heralds could then send the Purrely Nord to the grave. All right, here's our 2 more draws. We did draw into a Veiler, drawing into a second Veiler. Double hand trap here. Rusting, a Triple Tactics Talent. We're going to Chimera Fusion, spinning the Gazelle on the field back. We're going to chain another Chimera Fusion, but we could spin again. Detach our final 2 cards for the final spin, double spin that Gazelle back on the deck. This is where we would generally have to verify that we cannot perform a fusion summon by revealing the hand. We're going to Triple Tactics Talent into a Zeus, wiping the field as you're attempting to take control of the monster, so we'll take control of the Zeus itself. Goodbye to everything else. Take the Zeus, come to me. All right, Codal, discard, come to us. Sword Knight, you can't Veiler the Sword Knight. You could try. So I would pass priority, see if they're going to Veiler, and then you just activate its effect. Just go to battle with it instead. Get battle. Maybe we don't have a monster to summon from the deck. Oh, we do. Okay, within the battle phase, we're going to summon from the deck. There we go, even more damage. Gazelle adding a Chimera Fusion here, only activatable within the main phase. We can't use it for extra damage. And we just gave the Zeus back. Oh my gosh, we could not link off with it or anything. That is unfortunate. Yes. Okay, we're in trouble. Purrely, reveal. Top 3 cards of the deck, grabbing our Pretty Memory. Activating our Purrely Happy, summoning from the deck. We're going to then trigger the Purrely again. We have a bunch of Dark Worlds within this deck. We got our Snow now. Ghostrick Dullahan. Into Ghostrick Angel of Mischief. Mischief detach, searching for the Ghostrick Renovation. Dullahan, add back the Ghostrick Shot in the graveyard back to our hand. Ghostrick Shot, reborn the Dullahan, making another Angel of Mischief. We got the My Friend Purrely. Reveal 3 Purrely cards, add 1 of them randomly to our hand. I can't believe IDK Dave is not surrendering. We're hoping for a timeout, possibly. Pure Lily grabbing a leap. We got the Grapha after being discarded by the Snow for the Snow to then search. We now have an E Purely Happiness here, wiping out the open field, 9,000 damage on the field, finish up this duel. Wait, we've been giving them so much life through the pretty memories, right? So we didn't have lethal? Oh my gosh. How do we not have game? We have Utopic Future, which is going to go into UDF for our monster negates. We're not BMing, right? How do we not have game? Let's go, let's go. Foolish Burial off the top of the deck, sending from the deck to the grave. Come forward, Shayama. We could set the Chimera Fusion, pop the Chimera Fusion. We're going to negate the Shayama from popping and summoning. Not going to happen. Damn. And now we are finally done. It is safe to surrender. Let's take this in a game too. So we have from the chat, IDK Dave says, I'm not running Baphomet in this deck because it locks you into fusions. That is correct. You do get locked into fusions, so no linking afterward. Thank you. We're going to further link this up into Unchained Soul of Rage as we now seize into a Wave King High Caesar. This is a double special summon negate. They activate Pretty Memory, negate. They activate another card, negate. Double negate, and we can link up with any opposing monster that's special summoned unless they activate the field spell. The field spell is going to make special summon Purrelys untargetable. And we do have Impermanence, which also has the same problem if they become untargetable. So let's see what we could do. Did not open up into the field spell. Do we use up double Wave King Caesar negate? We do not. We're going to wait for the effect to Caesar the graveyard with the Lily, I believe. Or in fact, we're going to Impermanence. So you will not even be pushing me to activate our Wave King Caesar. Now, an issue is if the Snow searches for a Grapha and we let them discard with the Happy Memory, that's going to trigger the Grapha to pop the High King Caesar. So we do have to negate it. Oh, we're grabbing another Snow, not a Grapha? Okay, interesting. My friend Purrely. Reveal 3 to me, only 2 Purrely as it's semi-limited. There is our normal summon. The Soul of Rage cannot be used. Do we negate the regular Purrely from trying to Caesar the hand? We're going into an Azalea. Azalea's gonna deal with the High King Caesar before it even activated any of its effects to negate. That is really unfortunate. We waited for the Purrely monster. Now, does this still destroy? Let's read this. We just made it Unchained Abominable. So if this were to get destroyed, we will then trigger to pop their My Friend Purrely, which they could activate the Pretty Memory to protect it from being destroyed. Let's read the Azalea effect activation. It's going to target one card in the field, destroy it. Yes, it will destroy. Wow. So was it a big mistake to not negate the Purrely quick play spells as they were then able to make an Azalea? The Yama's going to trigger Reborning from the graveyard. The Shavar's going to trigger setting up from the deck. The Abomination's activating to get poppin'. We're going to finger the Shavara, so there's no set trap for the deck. And we're going to do exactly what I said with the Pretty Memory, protecting the My Friend Purrely from being destroyed. Yup, protect it, discard the Snow. Lily's now here. It's a hard once per turn on summon, so it's not going to activate again to search. But we're now going to Caesar the Grave. We got Sarama, pop the Sarama, and then we could summon from the deck. Now, Abominable Unchained would be pretty good to summon if we had a card in the hand to discard. We don't. So we're summoning an Aruha, and that's it. Nothing to discard, grabbing a Grapha from the deck. Lily is now going to get seizing with the graveyard. We have the Purrely Happiness. Purrely Happiness taking out the Aruha, which will trigger the effect of the Aruha to summon from the deck here, as the Happiness also is going to be searching. Now, this is the damage step. So had we activated the Happy Memory early to protect the Happiness from being destroyed, we would have been okay. But now we can't do so because we are at the end of the damage step where this is not activatable. We had to preempt it. Unchained Abominable after a monster destruction gets to get poppin'. That will trigger the My Friend Purrely to add quick play spells in the graveyard back to our hand. F-Stream? What's wrong? Gia? Someone said F-Stream? Add the Purrely Happy. Now, we have Delicious Memory, making the Shavara indestructible by battle, summoning a Purrely. Activate the Purrely as the Grapha also targets the Abomination to get destroying. It's a troll. Okay, yeah, time him out. We have nothing off the top of our deck. Unchained Abomination is now gone. Purrely going into the Beauty. Beauty could suck up the Chimera. We also have quick effects negate. We're going to send the Pretty Memory, sucking up that Chimera. Now, the Chimera is... Yeah, we could activate another Chimera. That's fine. Oh my gosh, this is so unfortunate. The Abominable Unchained Soul. It's normally not that bad to have in the hand because if any of your cards get destroyed, you're going to be able to summon this card from the hand. A card you control is destroyed. Not going to happen since we have nothing. Had we drawn even a card we could set, we could have summoned the Chimera from the graveyard at least. We got nothing. Let's do this. Do we have lethal damage? 9,000 life because of the Pretty Memory, boosting up the opposing player's life points here. Happy Memory. We're going to chain the Beauty to equip the Happy Memory, as you then discard to summon from the deck. Now, the little Purrelys, I think we're out of them. Yeah, there's no more regular little Purrelys. We can only summon our Lily, which I think this may be our final copy. That's it. We have no more Purrelys in the deck. None. We have to use Purrely Leap to return them back in the deck. We're going to use the Plump to get sucking from both players' graveyards to get boosting, and not enough for lethal damage, but we are going to be able to overlay this up into a Zeus. Zeus, you have to be careful about detaching the Chimera, because if we detach Chimera, they got full combo. It will set a trap, they could pop the trap, they could summon Abominable Unchained, discard a card, pop another card in the field, summon from the deck. Do not do so. We got the Plump continually sucking from the opposing player's graveyard here. We're gonna draw, how many cards? Draw two. Draw two, draw one, draw a second time by leaping it into an Purrely Nor. Now, how many spins do we have? How much disruption are we looking at? We're looking at 3 spins plus 2 field wipes, 5 disruption. And we just drew an effect failure. We could spin this card so it does not get destroyed, and if we read the Chimera, it says, destroy it. If you do, which you won't, you then get to summon, so you don't get to summon if the Nor spins it back. You can also spin the Chimera itself back in the deck, but then the prison still gets destroyed. Would it have been better to... It's still going to destroy, even though the Chimera's in the deck. It does not summon, then destroy. If it did summon, then destroy, this would be a better play to do, but the prison will now trigger. Come forth and summon for the deck, also triggering the Abominable Unchained Soul, which we unfortunately do not have a card to discard, to then pop a card in the field. Very nice. Abominable Unchained Soul. We had Effect Veiler in case they did have a way to discard. The Purrely Nor, with 2 more spins, going to use both of those spins, spinning back the Abominable Unchained Soul and the Chimera back into the deck. You go. I don't know. Is it time for Herald of the Abyss or what? The deck is climbing. It's at tier 2 right now. Very powerful, right behind Snake Eyes. Triple thrust with Herald of the Abyss. I think it's time to put it back in, potentially. And let's clean up this duel. Let's speed up. Let's go. Oh my gosh, don't do full ghost for a combo. Are you out of your damn mind, Gia? Can we DQ? No, we're fine. No BM. All right. Lethal damage. Good job, Ahmed AWD.